This is Yerushalmi Pesachim. In the article, as addition on Daf Yudnun Avam Rav, the fifth line. Rabbi Yossi b'Shem Rabbi Yochanan Divrei Meir. This, which in the Vilna, it says it differently. It's on Mem Dal and Beis. The second line, it says Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yeshua Divrei Meir, but the Mechal Maim changes that to the Girsa as is in the article Divrei Rabbi Yossi b'Shem Rabbi Yochanan. So but the article then changes Divrei Meir to Divrei Rabbi Shimon. But we're going to go with the Girsa which is in front of us, which is also where Chaim has it. Divrei Rabbi Meir. Now the words Rabbi Meir in our Mishnah were that if you shech the korban l'shem murei tzibur on for korban tzibur on Pesach, it's considered on Shabbos. It's considered a b'dvar mitzvah and your potter. Back on Nun Amrav in the art scroll, which is Mem Gimel Amud Beis in the Vilna. So we had Rabbi Lezer who said that Divrei Meir fil egel. This is true even if you're shechting a calf, which is not suitable to be a korban tamid. Korban has to be a lamb. You're still going to be part because it's a dvar mitzvah. Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Yochanan argues. He says Divrei Meir who set tamim. It's got to be a set tamim uben shana. It has to be within its first year. Ushlamim, and it's carbon. It's supposed to be a carbon shlamim. Roy lishtanos l'shem Pesach, and it's suitable to be changed for the purpose of a Pesach. Then Rameir says if you shech it not for the purpose of Pesach, but you shech for the purpose of carbon tamid, that's fine. It's tamid var mitzvah, but it has to be something which is suitable to come that day. That could have come as a Pesach, and you shech it l'shem to tamid. That's tamid var mitzvah. But if it's not something which is suitable to come that day at all, so then the fact that you shechted something else which is not suitable to be the Korban Tamid, that's not considered to be a Tamid Var Mitzvah. It's too far off. Okay, so the Achma Min Atlas, this I have two things. Davar she'ein lo kitzva. You hear from this, Davar she'ein lo kitzva. In other words, it's got to be something which is suitable to be Korban Pesach, of which there's no limit on a Pesach. Right, so therefore that it has to be of that type, right? Not a egel, which is not suitable to be brought that day. It's be a Pesach, which is suitable to be brought, and there's no limit to how many can be brought. V'davar, and here it says davar she'ein darko lahachlif, but the Korban says it's to be changed to davar she'darko lahachlif. Right, in other words, Pesach is the shlamim, which is kerkosim, and the tom is kosim, so it's something which is possible to be switched. The davar sheish mitzvah, it's something where there is a mitzvah to do it. In other words, there's a mitzvah to bring a korban Pesach that day. So if it's in order for it to be considered tom dvar mitzvah, if you brought a shem murei tzibur, it's got to be something which could have been could have been brought that day because Pesach has no limit. And it could have been it's something which is interchangeable because it's also a lamb, and they're both lambs. And something where there's a when you do it, there is a mitzvah. Now the way Korban learns this passing, because what's the difference between this and that it could have been a Korban Pesach, but it's also about it could have been a Pesach with a mitzvah. But he's saying that it's something where there if it's shlamim. So that means that even though it was a shlamim, since if you were makav shlamim on Pesach Shalos b'Shabbos, you weren't supposed to, but it's a koshkar medievet, so therefore that's also part and parcel of those things which are considered to be mitzvah. So again, it has to be something where, in order to be considered to mitzvah, it has to be a candidate to be brought as a Pesach, because ain't no kitzvah on that on Pesach even Shachalos b'Shabbos. It has to be something which is shaykh to be a Korban Pesach, which is set to Amin ben Shana, and it has to be also that it's and it's something where there be a mitzvah, even though it wasn't a mitzvah day. In other words, Shlomi, which is shechted on, even the Shem, as Korban says, I'm going to repeat this again. It says, Shem afil shtoch l'shem Pesach. Okay. So says Gemara, let's explain this. Perhaps I jumped the gun. I shouldn't have explained it because Gemara explains it. Isa davar she'en lo kitzva. What does this mean? Saying she'en lo kitzva. Rabbi explains. When it said shalom natar kitzva kam pesachim yidu chol Shabbos chol shana. There's no limit to how many pesachim will push over Shabbos every year, and it depends how many people born Korban Pesach. That's Rabbi Yirmiyah. Rabbi Yossi saw remember she'ena yochel la'amod al minyana. You can't count how many there are. So it seems like very similar, right? There's no limit. You can't count how many. Already said. Rabbi Yossi himself said, you know what? Rabbi Yossi sounds more correct. Rabbi Yossi have a matalini tinokos fekas. When he got to the case of the tinokos fekas, which is the case which he spoke about before, I'm going to speak again about Erev Shabbos, Friday, Shabbos, Sunday. He said, Avamri said, Yafalim din Rabbi Yirmiyah. Rabbi Yirmiyah taught us correctly. The actual precise categorization is Davar she'en lo kitzva, because Isa Memesh Ed Yochel Amar Milyonan. You can't count the amount of bris milas you're going to do. Obviously, you know how many you're going to do. You have as many children you have in front of you. Not Korban Pesach, maybe you can't count them, but the similar case of bris milah, you can certainly count them. So it must be that the condition is ela shelo nitna nazar Torah kitzva kam pesachim d'chol Shabbos b'shchol shor. Trying to give a specific limit how many pesachim d'chol Shabbos. Trying to give a specific limit also how many milas d'chol Shabbos. So you want to compare Tobit Var Mitzvah by Korban Pesach. To by Erev Pesach to Tobit Var Mitzvah by Bris Milah, you have to say that the similarity is that both Davar she'en lo kitzva, there's no limit to how many can be done. Okay, not ein lo minyan. Amar Chisda said, Tipote the Divrei Rabbi Shimon, Tipote she'eshem chabura achas shelo shachta. Rabbi Shimon had said yesterday if you were mild the Erev Shabbos on Shabbos, right? Even though it's already after the 8th day, since Shabbos don't need no lidachos, you're chayiv. There's got to be you got to have it's only time of mitzvah if you had around a child whose bris milah should have been on Shabbos. If you didn't have just a child that around, there's no time of mitzvah. So the parallel case by Pesach is that there's still a chabur which hasn't yet shechted, which still chayiv to do Korban Pesach, because otherwise. There's no need no Shabbos lidachos. So therefore, it's only if there's still a chabura that hasn't yet shechted, then you can say the Tobit Var Mitzvah is potter. But if everybody is supposed to shecht away that day is shechted, there's no longer any royal lidachos. So then the Tobit Var Mitzvah doesn't apply. You're chayiv for shechting the wrong animal on Erev Pesach. And Erev Pesach is for Shabbos. Okay, so now we start, very often in Yerushalmi, we have the same sugya of the tinokos from a different yeshiva, a different conversation about the scenarios. Rabbi Zira said, Milsa Rabbi Yanai Amra, so from that which Rabbi Yanai said, which we're going to see, this teaches us, Musha Shachar Malshel Shabbos Erev Shabbos. You forgot and you were mild the one of Shabbos on Erev Shabbos. In other words, in a case you have two tinokos, one to be mild on Erev Shabbos and one to be mild on Shabbos, and you forgot and you were mild the one of Erev Shabbos on Shabbos, you're chayiv. Why? So he says, because, as what I said, just read, because you were mild the one of Shabbos on Erev Shabbos. So therefore Shabbos not nitan l'dchia. Because the one you were supposed to do on Shabbos, you did an Erev Shabbos. So now you're doing the Erev Shabbos on Shabbos, you're chayiv. But what if Mola b'Shachris? You did the bris milah of the one from Shabbos in the morning, on Shabbos. And now you have the one for Erev Shabbos, which you were doing now on Shabbos by mistake. Okay, it says, so that type of bar mitzvah. Mola b'Shachris. Rabbi Zira Amar, Sav Rabbi Yanai Potter. Rabbi Zira said that Rabbi Yanai holds a potter. This is the source that we just said, because as long as there was someone to be doicha Shabbos, even though on Shabbos, it's true you already did in the morning, but since it was there on Shabbos and you did it and it was Shabbos nitali dachos, so that's why you're going to be potter even later in the day you do the Erev Shabbos one on Shabbos, but. If you already did the one for Shabbos yesterday, then that's no good. That's what Zero said. The Ushah Mal Mal Erev Shabbos. The resistance Mr. Rabiyana and Ushah Mal Shabbos Erev Shabbos. Your chayav is because you are when you show Mal Shabbos Erev Shabbos, then you're chayav on the one from Erev Shabbos that you did on Shabbos. Only a case where you had in the morning, but a case where you had in the morning still. Want to be the which Derech Shabbos, then even the one in the afternoon, which was the Erev Shabbos one, is still potter. That's Rabbi Yanai. Rabbi Abba Amar Chayv. He said, no, by the time the afternoon rolls around, you already used up your Tchiyah Shabbos in the morning. It's not going to help you for the afternoon, for the Erev Shabbos when you did now on Shabbos. Now, evidently Rabbi Abba, who said your Chayv, held Rabbi Yanai, held like him as well. Because now, according to Rabbi Abba, who says Chayv, lied the Mila Rabbi Yanai. For why did Rabbi Yanai speak about Erev Shabbos on Shabbos, Shabbos and Erev? It could just be about Shachris and it's all rhyme, right? It's right. It's not just if you hold the same issue applies on the same day. If you preceded the one on one you're supposed to do today in the morning, but the afternoon one you're chayav on. So why speak about Erev Shabbos? And Shabbos, speaking on Shabbos itself, morning and afternoon. So the Gemara says it's a practical, pragmatic reason. But it's going to tell you that this is what naturally happens. People switch from the Erev Shabbos to the Shabbos and vice versa. Now, when I actually did this Gemara Pesachim, I did not have the Chaim Kievsky on Pesachim, but I had Chaim Kievsky on Shabbos. So when he says in Shabbos, he says here, we're with Rabbi Chaim here. So I'm going to go, here's Girsa. I'll die to Rabbi Zira, Rabbi Yanai, like Rabbi Zira in Rabbi Yanai, not like Rabbi Abba and Rabbi Yanai, like Rabbi Zira and Rabbi Yanai, who says once it's Nitchos that day, it doesn't matter. Whether late in the afternoon you still have the one which was Derech Shabbos, even if you did the meal in the morning. So instead of saying Al Daita Rav Krav Meir, the next words according to Chaim is to be the low Rav Chisda. It's not, we don't say like Rav Chisda. Chisda said before Korban B'Shimon, you only put them still chaburas which had Korban Pesach. Then Tov Mitzvahs parts because the still Korban Pesach will be done that day. But according to Rabbi Yana, I know even there was a Korban Pesach which could have been done that morning. So then that day was a day was Shach L'Tchiyah, and you said Tov Mitzvah, even there's nobody left that has to Shech that day. So Gemara says, well, it's not necessarily, because they're talking about different opinions. Rabbi Mara, could Rabbi Yossi, Mara said Rabbi Yossi, Madam Rav Chisda, Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Chisda going in his, like Rabbi Shimon. He's saying, according to Rabbi Shimon, you still need it to be a Chabur Shlosh Ochta, and you still need a kid who didn't have Bris Milah. But it could be that even Rav Chisda, Rabbi Meir, that once it was Nitan Lidchos in the morning, it was Nitan Lidchos, not a problem. So I said, stop in the line. Madam Rav Chisda, Rabbi Shimon, Madam Rabbi Yanai, Rabbi Meir. So that's going to know, because according to Meir also, it could be you have this condition. You have to have mitzvah in front of you. Because the case according to Meir, we had the machlekes we said yesterday, is that he holds that Yeshua patters you where you mal the Sunday baby on Shabbos. But you had in front of you on Shabbos two babies. The Shabbos baby and the Sunday baby. You just made a mistake of being mal the Sunday baby on Shabbos, but sure holds your part because it's about mitzvah. He also says you're chayav because you didn't do a mitzvah because it's a day too early for this baby. It's a Sunday baby, not a Shabbos baby. But even according to Meir, it's quite possible he agrees with Rabbi Shimon. They need a mitzvah in front of you. And that because you had the Shabbos baby in front of you. You just messed up and did the Sunday baby instead. But it could be Hitaka holds that Rav Chisda statement would also have to go to Rav Meir. That Rav Chisda would make a statement also Rav Meir. That it's specifically if there's still a Shabbos child in front of you at the time that you did the Sunday child. And that's where it says, Meshivin, they responded. What's my place here? Shimon, David ben Rameir, Shimon. So who says Rabbi Meir Shimon disagree with that? Then maybe even Rabbi Meir agrees. You still have to be able to have one which is Derech Shabbos present in front of you. Now the way Reb Chaim learns the next line, it's a continuation. He says Ashkan Plukla ben Rabbi Meir Rabbi Shimon Bashir. You find Machlokes between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Shimon, whether you need to have a baby in front of you or not. Could be they both agree. You still need to have a baby in front of you who's suitable to be Derech Shabbos. And not one which is before, which you did in the morning, can be both in the afternoon. In which case, Rabbi Yana is not going to have Chistok, because the Rabbi said if it was able, it was one of the, you did one in the morning, that's good enough. It's going to no. They're obviously, the Rabbi Meir and Shimon don't argue in this spot. So then they're going to both according to Rav Chisda, they don't argue in this spot. So according to Rav Chisda would say, not Rabbi Yana, that according to both of them, you have to have a baby left for you have to have a baby around at the time you do the Sunday one who was a Shabbos baby. And that is really bringing us already to the top of Nun Beis and Rav. Short plot for relative to all the ones we've been doing recently. Because it says a long read bars. That's why. Very long read bars made the plot shorter. It's like we used to have in the old days. So it continues, but that's it for today. We'll stop here.